to lift.
There you go.
AP, since taking over as interim, you've preached toughness, physicality, and violence. How proud are you how happy were you with that display today in your final showing as interim?
Yeah, that's what we talked about. I've been preaching since day one. Really bought into it the last week of the season when, people are making business decisions that they want to play football for 60 minutes. I think our guys took pride on it, pride into it. Really proud of our guys that last drive offensively, what they were able to do, and then defensively to finish the game. And to be honest, I get the pretty stuff and throwing the ball around, but at the end of the day, football is meant to be physical and violent and hitting one another, and that's what we want to be.
And we've kind of talked about it since you've taken over, right? You've had the unwavering support of the locker room, the fan base. They're sending down AP chants while the game is still going on. You guys have a special moment at the end of the game. Considering this is your childhood fan base, I'm just kind of wondering, how has it felt to have that unwavering support from the fan base?
Good. I got some time now to reflect on that. Now the season's over with. We'll handle our exit physicals, interviews here over the next couple of days, and obviously I got some other stuff to handle, and then have a chance to reflect over these last 9 to 10 weeks, which has been very humbling and honored for me.
AP, obviously you've been able to emotionally motivate your players in a way that hasn't been done recently with the franchise. I'm wondering, how would you assess the X's and O's strategy standpoint in terms of making your case to Mark Davis as a permanent coach?
Well, I think it's been on full display. I think our style of play, both offensively and defensively, has changed. I think we rushed for over 100 yards again. I don't know how many times that's been over the last 9, but I know it's been quite a few. You see the shots. I mean, we'll get into all the X and O stuff. I get it. Player, coach, rah-rah guy, but I didn't get to where I'm at by not knowing football.
AP, you're only the third team since 2000 to have 2 games with 0 penalties, the 0-1 Jets and 13 Patriots. I'm just curious, you came in preaching discipline and these guys bought into what you were selling. Can you talk about your pride in yet another performance with 0 penalties?
Yeah, I'm hoping, and we'll get the final stats here in a second, that we finished number 1 as far as the least penalized team in the National Football League. And I'm sure that's a Raider record.
Tim Wood, sports fan, Rob. Congratulations on the W to end the season. You had a lot of support out there from the fans, and just wanted to know, just like Curious George, what did Mark Davis say to you before the game? We saw you guys have a brief moment, and just curious if you can say anything about what he said to you.
Just win, baby. That was it.
Okay. There's been so much speculation about your future here and whether or not you'll be the permanent head coach. I'm just curious about Champ Kelly, your thoughts about him staying, also having his interim tag taken off. What is your relationship with him, and how has it grown in the 9 weeks that you've been the head coach?
Yeah, obviously we've gotten a lot closer over the last 9 to 10 weeks talking, putting our thoughts together, trying to get the best roster and the best product we can on the field. My thoughts on Champ, I think he's done a hell of a job. Obviously, he's well respected throughout the league. He's done it. He's been there. He's been on in winning organizations. And you just got to look at what we've done over the last 9, 10 weeks, and I'll let everybody else kind of judge that. But Champ is a good man, good person. Obviously, you can see our players and our staff respects him. What they've done from a personal standpoint as well. I mean, look at our rookies that's really shown up. He's a part of that process as well. So I think he's put himself in a good position.
AP, you guys, last 9 weeks have built a foundation that's helped turn around this season, but if you are retained, how do you feel like you can maybe build on that moving forward to, maybe make the playoffs and continue to improve and push the franchise forward?
Yeah, I mean, you just keep growing. I mean, you talk about culture, you talk about foundation, you talk about your DNA, you talk about what you wanted to look like, your structure, your coaches, your players, having your identity. To me, our players and our coaches will be a reflection of me. And that'll go forward as we move into this bad boy. But there's a lot of things that I can still grow from. This was a great experience, great kickstart. I think we do have a solid foundation that we built so far, but there's more to go. And, no excuse, but it is difficult to do in the middle of the season. And to get guys to buy in and really believe that that's how you're going to win and that's the way to win. When you have time to, presentations, put that in OTAs, mini camps, training camp, get that bonding, that chemistry together, I think it'll be a pretty thing to watch.
AP, another excellent performance by Aiden, protecting the football, no interceptions, not even the same quarterback from when you started and he took over. I'm just curious about his maturation and the pride you feel and how he hasn't cost you.
Yeah, I thought tonight was really telling. He battled some injuries. We saw him leave, go in the locker room. I looked at him, wasn't quite sure if he was going to battle through it, but, and I've said it before, he's a mentally tough individual, very mature. He's grown in front of our eyes, full display, with 10 starts this year. Great opportunity for him to be evaluated going forward. And I think more and more he's earned the trust of his peers and his coaches. The kid just drove us 99 yards down the field and made some hell of a plays throwing the football. That was impressive. And he didn't waver. You talk about situational football, clocking it. I mean, very calm, very poised. I think everything we worked on in practice was on full display tonight, and I'm very proud of him.
Go Vic in that case.
How much fun have you had the last 2 months?
Man, it's been fun. Like I told the guys, I'm a little hoarse. I hit the scar there, you know. It got me all choked up, but I was having fun as a linebacker coach. That was cool, right? But it's really cool being the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. It's really cool being in front of a room of men who buy in and believe what you're telling them, what you're saying, how to do things maybe differently than everybody expects you to do it, maybe not the norm. But I love football, man. I said it before, it was my first love. Football never cheat on me. They don't talk back to me. It's always there. And that's something I appreciate about it, because when you can walk away from it, it always tugs you right back. And to be with the organization and the men and the staff and the people that I work with every day, and to watch them now smile and have that kind of enthusiasm about going to work every day. And just like, you know, we talked about in the pressers, you guys are smiling. You guys are cracking jokes with me now. You guys look like you're having fun too. That's good. Don't take life so serious, man. It's okay. It's gonna be tomorrow.
We'll do 2 more. We'll go Case and then Allen.
Hey, AP, I know you said you'll have time to reflect on what this whole thing meant to you, but, you know, at the end there when you had that moment and the crowd was chanting AP, it seemed like you were playing to him a little bit. It seemed like you really enjoyed that. What's going through your mind? What did that moment mean to you?
Well, if you kind of watch me every game after the game, me and Bob, we get our track shoes on and we sprint to the head coach and we sprint out, because I want to dap up all our players. But I thought I needed to take a minute and a moment to address the fans. I think they've been very supportive since I've taken over as interim head coach. They were loud each and every home game. It wasn't a 60-40 home game. It was a Raider crowd in there today. It was a group that was loud on third downs, that was getting after it, and just show them appreciation. At the end of the day, when I was a player, I loved hearing that noise from the crowd. And to walk out and see the black hole and those guys just getting after it, I just wanted to love them up. Because listen, what if I'm not here next year? I didn't want to let that go by.
AP, just you mentioned Aiden's growth since his start with you. Can you just self-assess your own growth from day one to today?
Yeah, patience, a little bit more poise, getting ahead of the game. It is different when you're the head coach, you know, than just being a linebacker coach or defensive guy. You gotta figure out where your special teams coordinator, where your special teams guys at, where your kickers, where your O-line at, everything. Clock management, obviously, situational football, end of half, end of game, timeout usage, red flag, challenge stuff. I mean, it's been a learning experience. I don't know and how anybody goes into this saying that they're ready for it. You need live reps. You know, you can mimic everything in practice, but there's nothing like the live reps and going through those situations. You can prep them, you can watch them, but when that clock's ticking, it goes a little bit faster. But for me, I think the process of working with our staff, our analytical people, and getting better each and every game has been my goal, and that will continue to be my goal as I'm in the seat.
One more, Paul.
Antonio, beyond coming off the field and hearing the crowd chanting your initials, AP, as you're coming off the field, you walk in that locker room, you see Jim Plunkett, you see Charles Woodson, Richard Seymour, Ted Hendricks, Jim Otto, Mike Haynes. They're all in there advocating on your behalf. What does that feel like to know that you got those types of people kind of campaigning for you, so to speak, to keep the job.
Yeah, one thing about, Mr. Davis, and it started with Al Davis, obviously, is the alumni and the players and having them around. And you've seen it since I've been here. How many games they've been here? 2, 3, loads of them, buses of them at our games and on our sideline. And I felt, and we talked about it, that once we won this game, that we wanted them to celebrate with us. Charles Woodson was at our practice a few weeks ago, and he talked about, man, how cool it was watching our guys smoke a cigar and be in that locker room and having that moment. He said, man, I want to be a part of that. And when he said that, it registered to me and Max and some other guys, and we said, listen, we want to make sure that they're a part of this as well, because when AP's gone, they'll be here. When Max is gone, he'll be a part of that group as well. And there's nothing like doing that with past legends. Obviously, Gold Jackets, Hall of Famers, the best of the best, rings, winners. They know what it's like. And for them to intermingle with our guys post-game, you can't take that for granted, man. That's special. And that's what this organization is about.
Thank you, Coach.